So over the past 2 months, I've kind of been rocking two phones. My main one has been the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I switched to this from my iPhone, but before that, I was trying out the Nothing Phone 3A. This was my first impression of a Android phone, thanks to Parker Burton. He sent this over to me. And I gotta say, I really do like this phone still a lot. I use it a decent bit throughout my day. I don't have a SIM card in it. It doesn't have any cellular capabilities, but just using it on my Wi-Fi for browsing socials and other things like that, watching YouTube, it's a great device. And I noticed between the two, so between the Galaxy S25 Ultra, a over $1,300 phone, and the Nothing Phone 3A, less than $400, I noticed that there's not much of a difference between the two. And I'm talking strictly just performance as I use it doing daily tasks. So I maybe want to do this video. I'm a little short on time this week, so this is kind of just like a sit down chat kind of video. But I thought this would be a fun topic to do that with, because using these two devices, I don't really think we need flagship phones anymore, at least maybe to the average consumer out there. Not saying flagship phones don't have a place at all, they still very much do, but let's get into it. Let's break down why most people probably don't need one, and then where flagships still have a place. Let's start with why most people don't need a flagship level device. Everyday tasks are nearly identical on both these devices right here. Now, to the pixel peeper, sure, you can definitely tell that there's a much better screen on the S25 Ultra versus the Phone 3A. But to the average person, and to myself even, just going between devices, there really isn't that big of a difference. So your everyday stuff like scrolling, messaging, consuming content on YouTube, going through Instagram, whatever, it feels exactly the same to me. I know there's probably more tech-oriented people out there that will say, actually, well, I can notice the difference. Of course you can. But to most people out there, they don't care, and they're not going to notice a difference. As long as their device can keep them in touch with their friends, their family, allow them to scroll social media to see what their friends are doing, that's gonna be enough for them. And the Phone 3A does that quite well. And then when you jump to the physical aspects of this phone, specifically the Phone 3A, I mean, sure, it's not gonna be made of like titanium. It's not gonna have the best glass durability in the world. It's not gonna have those premium materials that you find on your flagship devices, but they're still going to be constructed well. I think Nothing explicitly is doing a really good job with the way they are constructing their mid-level phones. I think they honestly might be an outlier in terms of the overall quality of their devices. So just, I guess, keep that in mind. I haven't really messed with other mid-range phones, but it seems like the mid-level phones that Samsung's putting out and Google's putting out, they all have very, very similar stats and very similar build qualities. I specifically, though, think Nothing's doing an incredible job with their designs, and so I might be a little biased there. But just holding it in the hand, I mean, it's obviously a lot lighter than a flagship phone because of those premium materials, and it doesn't feel that bad. I actually kind of like how light this phone is, but it doesn't feel cheap. You know, it feels pretty good in the hand. I think that gap between top of the line pro flagship level devices and a more mid-range device is closing quicker than we realize. Because the average person is not going to do any kind of durability test with their device. And in terms of the average tumble or like drop, which I've done with both of these devices, they handle them just fine. And in terms of camera systems, high refresh rates, I mean, you get all that on the Nothing Phone 3A. The camera system on this is really impressive. Granted, there was some color shift issues that I addressed in my previous video that I did on the camera system within this phone, but it still takes really good photos. And again, to the average person, all you want to do is like, can it take a nice looking photo? Yes, okay, I can use that, and it can do that. And you've got 120 hertz refresh rate on this phone, so I mean, it's just like those kind of features. Granted, Apple doesn't do it on their mid-range level phones. They don't even really have mid-range phones, let's be honest. It's just expensive and then more expensive. But they're not even doing 120 hertz on their lower end iPhones, and Nothing's out here, you know, putting it on a phone that's less than $400, which is great, which is another reason why I appreciate Nothing. Like I said, going back to that gap is closing fast. You know, all these what were pro level features are trickling down into these mid-range level phones, and they're making them very, very good and very useful to where you honestly don't notice a difference between switching your devices. The only difference you can notice is like, yeah, this one feels more expensive. This feels more solid in the hand. And if that's something you like, then, you know, great. Aside from that, using them on everyday tasks, I'm going to reiterate, on your everyday, you know, messaging, that sort of stuff, there really is no difference. The fact of it all is flagships are a little bit overkill for most. If you're not editing 4K videos, you know, editing content for your channels, taking raw photos or utilizing like 200 megapixel sensors built into some of these phones now, or doing heavy mobile gaming, you're not gonna be using 80% of what makes this device a flagship level device. So why wouldn't you save the hundreds of dollars and just get something like this? Because it does what you will be doing just as good as the flagship. Battery life on this thing is incredible too. I've loved the battery life on the 3A. It's without a doubt better than the S25 Ultra. And I mean, you get that because you have less demanding hardware. You don't have those crazy chips in like you do on the flagship phone. So naturally you are going to get some better battery life out of these mid-range phones too, which is a plus because if you're someone who needs your phone to take you throughout the day and more to stay in contact with people, check emails, whatever, you're going to get really good battery life on these lower end phones. So all that being said, a less than $400 phone buys you most of the flagship experience for less than half the cost, which I think is going to work for most people out there. Like using this phone, I have not once had it do anything that makes me think that it's losing life or that it is a mid-tier level phone. And that's because I've only really used it for that daily stuff, checking emails, going online, watching a little bit of content here and there on YouTube. And it does it great. And it does it in a manner that's not any more less impressive than the S25 Ultra. In fact, I find myself when I'm home just picking this up and using it over my S25 Ultra just because it's a fun phone to use. And it's one that I think I will continue to use. And I think if you're in the market for a new phone, specifically Android, if you're not committed to the Apple ecosystem and you're just looking for a new phone without breaking the bank and without spending, over $1,000, this is such a great option. And I think there's other mid-range phones out there that share the same specs as this one that will do just as good as well. Okay, let's switch gears though. Let's go into why a flagship phone still very much has a place. Starting off, for the most important reason I get a flagship phone is the best-in-class camera system. There's no denying that there is a very, very big tier gap in camera systems when you go from a device like the Nothing Phone 3A to the S25 Ultra. Like I said, the Nothing Phone 3A sports a really good camera system for its price point and what it is, but it's night and day difference compared to what this device is able to accomplish. If you're someone like me who uses your phone for content or just enjoys photography and videography, going with the flagship level device is always going to be the route you want to take. You're not going to get any compromises in the camera department when you go for whatever that company's best of the best is. The camera systems on the iPhone Pro models are notorious for being one of the best content creation devices that you can get, sub $2,000. Oftentimes when people are wanting to take content creation a little bit more seriously and they're just starting out, I generally point them to just getting a Pro Max or something. But the S25 Ultra is absolutely no slouch, and it's something I've learned this past month while switching to Android, is that the camera systems on these Galaxy phones are just as good as the iPhone. Some of the photos I've been able to take with this thing have blown me away, especially the zoom capabilities on this. Getting much more range out of this than I did with my iPhone. But so if you are a creator, if you're a filmmaker who likes to shoot behind the scenes stuff, when you're on set, anything like that, always get the flagship device to help you create that content to share with your audience, because you're going to get the best of the best and you're not going to have to worry about weird things like the color shift on the Nothing Phone 3A. Like I said, still a great camera, but the color shift was one of the big issues that they've kind of resolved a little bit with some software updates, but it's still there. It's still baked into the actual lenses, and it's just something you're going to deal with those lower end phones because they're using cheaper parts for their camera. That's just how it works. Another reason for the flagship phone is you are future-proofing your device. You're gonna have the latest chipsets and the latest and greatest everything within this phone, and it's gonna set you up for multiple years to come. That's at least how it was with my iPhones. I would usually upgrade every 2 to 3 years, and for the most part, the 3-year-old phone would be fine. I would just kind of upgrade it because I wanted something new. This past iPhone 15 that I had was kind of struggling. The battery was pretty terrible, not gonna lie, when I switched to this. So I've been enjoying the battery life on the S25 Ultra, but generally spending that extra bit on the flagship is going to help future-proof you, so you don't have to spend money every year or every even 2 years. I knew some people who were still on an iPhone 12 Pro and it was still doing just fine. So you get that longevity out of getting these premium devices because they're going to be supported a lot longer than any of the other cheaper phones that you might find from that company. Having the best of the best hardware is going to give you smoother multitasking. It's going to give you smoother everything, better editing, better gaming. It's going to give you the best performance. Me personally, I like to do a lot of editing on my mobile device using the Lightroom app, and it helps to have the flagship device. Believe me, I've tried to use that app on a few, not flagship level devices, and it just doesn't work the best. So it's going to bypass having to deal with lag and just overall dealing with a slow phone. Especially if you're doing these things daily, these heavy operations, it's going to require a phone that can keep up with the task. And getting the best of the best is going to ensure that you have that that performance. And last but not least, if you are someone into the fine details, if you like a premium looking device, obviously getting the flagship is going to be what you want. You're going to get your titanium or your metals, you're going to get your really small bezels, you're going to get that really good looking screen. Usually you're going to get the best looking design. Usually, I don't know, flagship level devices anymore are kind of looking the same. And I think design has been lacking across the board in companies, but usually you get the best looking design. With those premium materials, you're also gonna get better water resistance. So if you're someone who's gonna be using your device in the elements, that is another factor to kind of keep in mind. I don't know, if you're around water a lot, like if you're a swimmer, or if you're just gonna be using your phone outdoors when there is weather, inclement weather. That's another thing that flagships are generally going to give you are better water resistance and are gonna be sealed off to whatever elements that you're in. Okay, to sum it all up, I sang the praises of the Nothing Phone 3A, this mid-range level device, but I also sing the praises of the S25 Ultra. Both great devices, and I enjoy using both of them. When I'm not doing my creative work or anything that requires editing, extensive camera work, whatever, just using the device to keep in contact with my friends, family, check emails, scroll Twitter, watch YouTube. The process felt the exact same on both devices. And I genuinely think that we are at a point where not everyone needs to have the best of the best. Not everyone needs to have an insane camera. Not everyone needs to have a ton of processing power to game or to edit or whatever. All they need is a device that can help them do that day-to-day stuff. And like I talked about earlier, a lot of the flagship features have now trickled down into these mid-range level phones to help enhance that experience. You're getting the 120 hertz, you're getting really good looking displays, you're getting fast charging, really good battery life. These are all features that I think get people through the day and serve the majority of the population good enough. I hear people all the time say like, yeah, I need a new phone, but I don't want to drop like $1,000 on a new phone. I think if people gave these mid-range level phones a shot, they would see like, oh, hey, this is actually everything that I need in a phone. And this does everything that I need it to. I don't actually have to spend $1,000 or even more on a brand new phone. Seems like that's just become the average price point that people think of when they think of a new phone. And typically that's their flagship level price. Granted, this one was like almost $1,500, which is, it's getting crazy. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, is because I think it's beneficial to kind of step back and realize, hey, these devices, these devices under $400 does everything I needed to. Why do I need to spend $1,000 on a phone? I don't actually need to. That's why I'm a really big fan of what Nothing is doing and what they did with the 3A and the 3A Pro. I thought they did an exceptional job on these devices. And it does make me excited for the Nothing Phone 3. I know that's gonna be around that $1,000 price point, but I really would like to see what all they put in that. I wonder if they can match this level, like S25 Ultra level of quality, but in a $1,000 price bag. Let's start bringing these flagship prices down a little bit more, because before too long, we're going to be making $2,000 phones the normal, and that's just absurd in my opinion. But on the flip side, if you are a creative, if you are pursuing making content, making money with this device, then absolutely go for the flagship, because you want the best of the best to put yourself ahead, to give you the best chance to create your best possible content. That is your goal, and it's just an investment, really. And that's kind of just the way you have to look at it anyways. And then even if you're not, like if you don't create, but you just like to have the best of the best, hey man, that's your right, go for it. I mean, flagship devices are so cool because they are the pinnacle of what, this pocket tech is. And so you get to take advantage and appreciate, the advancements that we've made and what all people have been able to pack into these little things. I'm kind of that way myself, but if I wasn't like creating content, I probably would just go for an average phone. If I'm being honest, I don't think I'd waste the money. At the end of the day, it is your money, so you can do whatever you want with it. But I just wanted to kind of take this conversation, bring it before you guys, and offer my 2 cents on what I think is suitable for the majority of people out there, which I think is a more mid-range level device, and also what I think qualifies you to go ahead and stick with that flagship level device. Tech is all over the place now. There's so much of it. There's so many different phones, so many different versions of everything. It's hard to keep track, and it can be hard to make a decision. Hopefully I was able to offer some insight that maybe helped you with a decision that you got coming up. That is it for this video though, guys. Thanks so much for sitting down and joining me for this whole video and listening to me doing a whole lot of yapping. I was told I did a whole lot of yapping in my last video, so I want to make sure I followed that up with even more yapping. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and give it a like down below, as well as subscribe for future content like this. Speaking of future content, that is enough consuming, enough watching content, guys. Get out there, make your own, make something yourself. I will see you all in the next video.